everybody, it's Stacie Duffy here, your Denver Metro real estate resource, and pretty much whenever you're ready is the right time to buy a house. So I know that's probably not the answer you want, because everybody here on YouTube is trying to watch all these videos about, is the market going to crash? Is it just going to keep going up? Should I get in now? Should I wait? And trying to use all the crystal balls and all of the YouTube experts to determine their life. So when you're talking about a purchase as big as your primary residence or another rental property or something like that, people that are into rentals don't usually get this hung up on this kind of stuff. But people that, first time buyers, move up buyers, like, I bought a house, it's been 8 or 10 years or 5 years or whatever. Is it a good time to sell? Is it a good time to buy? Okay. You can find somebody saying it's a good time or a bad time all of the time. That's always what it's going to be. Because if any of us had really, really good crystal balls that actually worked, we'd be millionaires. And there are some millionaires out there. And hey, I listen to some because I figure, you know what? They probably know more than I do. So maybe I should listen in, right? And most people just try to get bits and pieces of information here and there and try to say, okay, well, the consensus is here's what I feel like. Here's what I see from data. That's going to drive my decisions, right? A lot of times your decisions are emotional anyway. So you're going to justify that with information logically. So you're probably going to go to YouTube and say, I don't know if it's a good time to buy. I don't feel like it is. Okay, let me go watch a bunch of people that say the market's going to crash and I should wait. Cool. Now I feel better. So pretty much when it comes to buying a house, a lot of people ask me, is there a good time, bad time, whatever. It depends on your situation, okay? If you've made that commitment to yourself, not just like, hey, I want to do something. It's like, no, I'm committed to buying a house. This is going to happen. I just need someone to help me go do it because I don't know where to start. When you've made that commitment to yourself, yes, there are some strategic factors that might need to play in. So maybe you need to work on your credit a little bit for 3 to 6, 9 months, something like that. Maybe given that you need to move next summer, maybe it doesn't make sense to sell right now and you want to sell in January or in February or something like that. There's little things that can be slightly strategic, to help you accomplish your goal, but it's not, there are people that, I don't have a lot of my clients this way, but I'm sure there are people that have been waiting to buy a house since like 2011. Okay, well, how much has that waiting costed you? If you feel good about that and that's the decision you've made, cool. But timing it right to make bank or, do all this, if it's your primary house, guys, you're going to have to pay somebody to live somewhere. Unless you're living in like a van that's paid for or a house that you inherited or something like that. Most people are going to be in the situation where they are, they have a mortgage on a house or they have to pay rent or they're, renting a room or something like that. You're going to have to pay to live somewhere. So at least part of that payment every month is going back into something that you can get back, assuming the value stays in a decent position, which is always the big question, right? Your place of residence should be a relatively long-term play. So when I have people I guess the time not to buy a house, to answer that question, if that's really what you're thinking of is like, okay, well, I'm going to move in a couple of years. Do I buy something or do I just rent? To be honest, I run calculators with my clients depending on what they tell me and their timing and their thoughts and that kind of stuff. You don't know when you're going to, have a kid, have a career change, get married, get divorced, grandma and grandpa are going to have to move in, whatever. A lot of that stuff you can have a general idea, but you might not know, okay, it's going to happen in January of 2024. Okay, so here's what I have to work with and work your way backwards. Most people aren't that articulate and as much as I try to be as a type A person that lives and dies in my calendar, even I don't know, okay, here's the month I'm going to have a kid. Here's the month where we're going to find the dream home that we want to live. Here's the month that we're going to take vacation and we can't go buy a house or whatever. So you don't always have all the details, but for most people, this is a long-term play. So if it's not a long-term play for you, and I have had a couple clients that come to me and say, hey, I'm probably not going to be living here more than a couple of years. Should I continue renting or should I buy something and sell it and try to make a little money? My rule of thumb is, guys, like 3 years or more, you're probably going to be pretty safe to buy unless there's some major market adjustment or something like that. And then here's what you're going to risk cost-wise. Here's what that's potentially going to cost you, depending on what the market does. So that's usually kind of the break-even-ish point on a conservative market appreciation scale. Because we want the market to appreciate enough to at least cover your costs. So, lo and behold, you at least get your money out every month, or it didn't cost you more than it would to go rent a place. That's the goal. If it's, hey, I'm only going to be here for the next 18 months and then I'm moving to another country and I don't want this place, I don't want to keep it, I don't want to rent it, I don't want to do anything, then you know what? Probably keep renting, because it doesn't really make sense to go through the stress and the cost to buy a place and the cost to sell a place if it's not going to be that long term. But generally, you're going to have to pay someone to live somewhere. So even if the market does correct or, depreciate or something like that happens, if you don't have to move during that time, then you didn't really lose any money, guys, unless you're trying to do a cash out refi or something like that. Like, you're going to have to pay someone to live somewhere. And especially with the rates where they are right now, you're usually going to have to pay more than 3 or 4% on the principal balance to borrow that money, large sums of money. So that's the piece. It's not about trying to time the market exactly down to the right perfect day to buy the perfect house. You can't line everything up that perfect. As much as you try, many people get lucky, and you can try to be strategic on your timing and tactical on when you go shop and in the type of loan you get and everything else. But sorry, I keep messing with my hair. I did my hair a different way today. It's kind of driving me nuts. Shiny object syndrome. So, but that's not the point. The point is, more of a long-term play. You're buying your residence. You're going to have to live somewhere. So yes, I'll do housing market updates on, hey, here's the information I'm getting on what I think and what people are telling me. And if, you're looking, hey, I might want to buy a place next year or the following year or something, but I don't really know what to do, blah, 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 and you're gathering information, great. Don't use those videos to make your decision, okay? You should make your decision for you and then get enough information to where you feel good about it. That's what most people do anyway. But I'm just saying, you're always going to find videos that say, oh, the market's going to crash tomorrow, and oh man, the market's crazy hot and it's just going to go up. You're always going to find both sides of the coin all the time. Someone inevitably is going to post that because shock value, right? It's going to get views no matter what you're posting. So just putting that out there. I know there's some other videos, topics that came out on this recently, and I thought, you know what? That's great. That's a good point. I mean, we're all doing updates because that's what people want to see, but that really shouldn't drive their decision making. It should really just reinforce whatever they're feeling or whatever they're thinking. And that's all they're really looking for anyway. So anyway, if this was helpful or it was good perspective, just hit the like button for me. I'd really appreciate it. I like the feedback from y'all and knowing what you do and don't like. And thanks so much for the time, and y'all have a great day.